Hello, my name is Ashley Lloyd, founder of Unfurling. I am going to present to you today the overall wrap. So what this is a wrap with loops along the top and a couple of side loops here on the bottom corners. And you could make a lot of different outfits, not just limited to overalls, but that is one of the applications, but also blouses, skirts, and dresses, you name it. I'm gonna show you 4 main ways today, and we're gonna have fun with this string and this wrap. We're going to use the medium length overall wrap to show you how to make a simple skirt. All right, here's the wrap. I'm going to fold it in half to tell me where the center loop on this wrap is. That is going to help guide me to evenly loop off and tie around the string here. Now, when I weave the string through the loops, basically what I'm doing is I'm making an attachment for the string to come out of. If you like where the string comes out of and you don't want to loop further, what you could do is stop there and tie a knot, or you just keep on looping. So I think I'm doing probably 6 or 7 loops on this one, the center being in the back. You could count the loops to keep it even. I call it the braided part here. You could have it in the front or in the back, and then make a skirt. Have it how you'd like to hang, just as you would a towel. Now you could take the end, the corner end that is, and this is where you're going to get your attachment. The braided end is laying against my belly right now. The corners of the top of the wrap are coming towards the braided end. From there, you bring the strings together and you tie a knot or a bow, how you see fit. If you want the edge of the wrap in the front, put it in the front, move it around. Maybe you want it on the side, maybe you want it on the back. This is fun. You can make it and design how you see fit, but these are some ways to do the skirt or the overall string wrap. Alrighty, next is the overalls. I have the wrap, I fold it in half. This helps me find where the center of my wrap is. So I find the center loop, and that is going to go over where my spine is, above my bum. I put the string through the center loop, and I pull the strings out and make sure that they're even. It's easiest to get them even from the get-go if you want your strings to evenly lie when you're finished with this, and everything to go a little smoother. Alright, so from here I'm going to loop away. So I'm basically taking the string and twisting it and looping it through the loops that are sewn into my wrap. Now what this does is it allows the string to pass through the loops. If you bunch it up and don't knot it, this is what happens. This is the look. And if you want it to stay more flat and not bunchy, what you're going to do is tie a single knot. Keep in mind, the more knots you do, the more challenging it may be to undo the knot, but a single knot should do. The braided part is going to stay centered in your back, so feel where it is back there. Where the strings come out, you could cross it over your back. You don't have to cross it, but I like that classic crossed in the back overall look. Take your wrap, put one end down in the place that you would like it to fit. So if you want it super loose, this is where you're going to make your width decision. And where the loops line up is how it's going to stay at its width. I like to choose right above the hip bones. It's a good kind of centering mark. And also you could count how many loops away so that your wrap is even. So loop number 1 on the outside and inside of the wrap, right where you want them to line up. Loop 1 on the inside layer and 1 on the outside layer. And from here, you can knot that off. I like to do these like knots where I don't pull it all the way through. They're kind of fun for me. Now here I go with the other side. I find my other hip bone and where I want the wrap to line up. This is my overall wrap. Here's a variation. Instead of looping them together on both of the strings in front, I instead am going to just loop the one string to the inner layer and outer layer. The other hip is going to only have the inner layer. So you can play with your variations. This one's a super fun one to do. It takes a little time, but once you get used to it, oh, I love the overall wraps, and I hope you do too. Here I go with a dress. This is one variation of a dress that you can do. Using the same amount of braids I did on my skirt, and instead of it being at my waist, the braided part is now on the inside at my chest. The strings are knotted on the ends and they are going to go over my shoulders. I put the braided part at my back to do my measuring. I put one end of the wrap over my chest, now the next over, and I'm deciding where do I want my loops. This is up to you. Everybody has a different size body, but basically where you attach the string into the loops is where your string is going to be for the strap of your dress. What I'm doing here is I want my string further in than where the corner of my wrap lies. So what I do from there is on the outer layer of the wrap, I braid along. I think that's 3 more loops here. Yep, and I counted on that other side as well. So I'm gonna put my string in and loop along 3 loops. Pull it through, loop along, loop along. I'm basically doing 1 loop. And wherever I don't want things to bunch up, I knot it off. Now I'm attaching another piece here, and the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want the piece under to go flopping around. If I don't attach it, it might get loose or flop underneath. So when I loop it together, it holds them together like a seam. I take the strings around the back and tie a bow. Alright, here we are with the simple blouse. This is with the smaller overall wrap. Basically, I just start with hanging it over my shoulders. From here, I decide where do I want the string to live. This decision is what helps you to kind of pin down your wrap. If you don't want boob exposure, then you're probably going to want it closer up towards your bust line. So I counted up 4 loops from the bottom. I put the string on one side, put it through on the other side, and wrap it around. I wrapped this one around twice, and then I tied it off. My blouse is complete. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the same blouse with a different wrap. I'm going to fold it so that the loops are on the armpit side of the blouse, and the folded end is towards the belly button. I find my bust line. I count up my loops from the bottom so that the wrap is even. and I just loop. I loop the string through the loop that is right under my bust line. I take the string to the other side and loop it through. And basically I have a blouse that's just covering me in the front, around the neck, and this does adjust. There's no loops on the belly button center area of the wrap, so you do want it to pin down if you don't want it to wiggle too much. So there's many variations that you could do with the overall wrap. The blouse is so fun.